In August 2010, Bernard killed his girlfriend Chanel Norris. Chanel was 23 years old, and she was a third-year social work student at Northern Caribbean University. Bernard was 47 years old at the time and he was a soldier. He was a member of the Jamaica Defense Forces National Reserve and attached to the Charlie Company at the Foster Barracks, located in Mandeville, Manchester. He was also a driving instructor. So, let's talk about what Bernard said happened on August 11, 2010. Bernard said that he met Chanel in February 2009. Shortly after their first meeting, Chanel began living with him at his apartment in Manchester. In May 2010, Bernard was reassigned to the Jamaica Defense Forces headquarters at Up Park Camp, Kingston. While Bernard was in Kingston, Chanel remained at the apartment, but he would return to the apartment when he was not on duty. Bernard said that he was responsible for Chanel. He was responsible for her housing, medical, food, phone cards and transportation expenses. In July 2010, Chanel told Bernard that she needed some space in order to study. She found another place in Mandeville to live and he took her to the new apartment. Bernard said that he felt some type of way about her decision to move, but he was not extremely upset. 2 weeks after Chanel's decision to move out of the apartment, they agreed to meet each other. On August 11, 2010, he visited Chanel at approximately 5:30 p.m. When he got to the apartment, Chanel was sitting downstairs talking with the landlord. Bernard said that he saw a light brown CR-V outside the apartment. He noticed the car because on 3 or 4 previous occasions, he had seen the same vehicle both at his house and at NCU. He said that he was aware that a man was the driver of that vehicle, but he did not see the driver on that day at the apartment. Bernard and Chanel left the apartment, and they traveled together in his car to 2 places. After those places, he parked on Hart Road at their favorite spot. When the car stopped, they both opened their car doors and Chanel reclined her seat. They began to talk. Bernard took out a tin of fruit cocktail. He reached into the glove compartment, and took out his knife and opened it. He then gave the fruit cocktail to Chanel. After which, he placed the knife in the region of the handbrake. While they were talking, Bernard said that he saw 2 men armed with knives approaching the vehicle. Both men split on both sides of the car. The man who was standing at his side of the vehicle opened the door a little bit more and said, "This is a hold-up." Bernard said that he laughed because it didn't seem real, and he didn't take them serious. The men demanded their money. The man that was standing on Bernard's side of the vehicle pulled a knife from his pocket, said, "This is serious," and then pushed it twice across Bernard's face. Chanel held onto the blade of the knife, whilst Bernard grabbed onto the manhand that held the knife. Bernard said that he and Chanel struggled with the man with the knife for approximately 2 to 3 minutes. During the struggle, Chanel eventually released the knife and he got out of the vehicle. On exiting the vehicle, Bernard and the man continued to struggle until he disarmed the man. Bernard then ran to the soldier camp with the knife he had taken from the man in his hand, and Chanel was still in the car. He said that when he left her, she looked frightened, but her throat was not cut. Bernard said that he was weak and frightened when he reached at the camp, but he said he was able to speak to his colleagues about what happened. He testified that because of his condition he was not immediately able to ask his colleagues for help with Chanel. He said he attempted to tell Brian about Chanel but that he was interrupted by Brian telling him to calm down and sit. After a while he told his colleagues about the attack on Pert Road. So, that is what Bernard said happened. Now, let's talk about what the soldiers said. On August 11, 2010, at approximately 6:30 p.m., Lance Corporal Fred, a soldier, said that he was leaving Foster Barracks compound, when he saw Bernard entering the premises from the direction of Hart Road. Fred said that Bernard looked frightened, and he had what appeared to be bloodstains on his shirt, and a blood-stained rag around his left hand. Fred asked whether something was wrong but Bernard did not respond. So Fred escorted him to the guardroom, and handed him over to Lance Corporal Brian. Brian was with 6 other persons. Brian had known Bernard for 7 years prior to the incident, and they have a working relationship. He said that Bernard appeared as though something was wrong and not the person he had known him to be. So, he asked whether something was wrong. Bernard then explained to him that he went to Perth Road to collect something from someone, and that he was attacked and stabbed by the person. After the attack he walked to the camp, leaving his car open on Perth Road. Bernard also told Brian that he had not contacted the police. Brian testified that Bernard had been pacing up and down in the guardroom, and he placed his hands on his shoulder in an attempt to relax him. Whilst doing this, Bernard tried to grab the gun that was on a sling on his right shoulder. Brian pulled the rifle away from Bernard and gave it to another soldier. He then sent Bernard out of the guardroom so that he could speak to him alone. However, on reaching the entrance of the guardroom, Bernard pushed Brian, pulled a blood-stained knife from his waist and put it to his throat. Brian held on to Bernard's hand, and hit it against a rail, causing the knife to fall. Brian and another soldier restrained Bernard. Brian said that's when Bernard said, "Somebody shoot me." Bernard was taken to the medical unit. After being medically treated, Bernard was placed in the back of a standby vehicle that was on the compound. Bernard looked uneasy, so Brian took the keys from the car. He did so out of fear of Bernard driving away the vehicle. While they were there, Bernard jumped from the back of the vehicle into the driver's seat, and attempted to start the vehicle. But, there was no key. Simpson, a police officer, later arrived on the compound. He spoke with Bernard. After they spoke they went to Hart Road where they saw Bernard's car parked. The car was not on Perth Road as Bernard had initially indicated. When they opened the car door someone was in the front passenger seat. The seat was reclined and the person's face was covered with a denim jacket. On removing the jacket, a female was observed with her throat cut. Later that same day, Bernard was taken into custody at the Mandeville police station. Detective Wallace cautioned him. Then he showed Bernard the knife that was taken from the Foster Barracks compound as well as the blood-stained rag. Bernard responded saying, "Officer, it's my knife. I used it to open a fruit cocktail for Chanel Norris. An argument developed, and I got cut on my thumb. And I used the knife to cut her throat." Bernard also told Detective Wallace that he had used the rag to band his thumb. Bernard was charged. The post-mortem was done and it revealed that Chanel had 12 injuries, with 2 of them being fatal. She had a lot of wounds to the palm of the right hand. This showed that she tried to defend herself during the attack. Anyway, do you remember Bernard's story? So, Bernard's version of events and the soldiers' recollections were a little different. Bernard tried to explain away some of what they said. Bernard said that he told his colleagues that he was attacked on Perth Road, and not Hart Road, because he was being mixed up with the names of the road. Bernard said that he tried to take Brian's gun because he wanted to help Chanel. Bernard had no explanation for removing the knife from his waistband. However, he denied placing the knife at his throat and he could not recall asking a soldier to shoot him. Bernard said that he did not try to drive the vehicle away. He said that he moved to the driver's seat, and tried to start the engine because he wanted to get some fresh air. Bernard said that he did not cut Chanel's throat or inflict any injuries on her. He also said that he did not confess to the police. The jury found Bernard guilty of murder. On November 2, 2012, Bernard was sentenced to life imprisonment. He will be eligible for parole after serving 20 years in prison. In 2015, Bernard tried to appeal his conviction and sentence, but it was refused.